What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologists' claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a guy that posted actually on my birthday back in 2017. But he supposedly is going to be pointing out how there's an atheism of the gaps. Apparently, similar to the God of the gaps, we just fill some shit in with atheism. Kind of like it was caulk or something. So if y'all want to fuck around and find out how atheism is used as caulk for the gaps that we have in our thinking, then please stay tuned.
Happy Thanksgiving to my ex-Mormon atheist friends out there. I'm sure this holiday gets you triggered to one degree or another. For after all, for what or to whom are you thankful to? Now, if you say Mother Nature, she quite frankly didn't care about you before you got here, according to your worldview.
Hey, are you talking about atheists now, or are you talking about Mormons still? I'm a little confused here because you started off shit-talking Mormons who apparently get triggered around Thanksgiving. I've never known that to be a thing, but maybe I just haven't been exposed to that. But in any case, you don't have to give thanks to some kind of almighty being, right? You don't have to give thanks to God. You can give thanks, or you can be thankful for your family, your friends, be thankful for your job. You can be thankful for a lot of things. This seems like a really weird start for a video because it's like, I hope all you atheists are thankful out there. I'm not sure to who. You're probably thankful to Beelzebub, Satan, and all of his demons.
Doesn't care about you now, nor will she care about you after you are extinct. Now, you could be narcissistic and thank yourself, but there are much more noble causes such as thanking your family. But I digress.
Please do digress. But also, yes, I do not think that nature gives one flippity fuck about me or my life. I don't think nature or this universe gives a flippity fuck about whether or not I'm happy. There's no issue with knowing that nature doesn't give a shit about you.
In an earlier video, I had made a teleological argument for the existence of God. I had stated that the DNA evidence, which has a probability of 1 chance in 5 billion, convinces a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that, say, a rapist who rapes and kills his victim is indeed guilty. Now, if I apply the same logic to the cosmological constant, which is tuned to 1 chance in a trillion, 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 that somehow I am unreasonable in believing that an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent creator did all of that.
Well, yeah, I would say that is quite unreasonable. And plus, you comparing, the universe coming into existence to a grapist, which we're censoring that word here due to algorithm reasons. But this whole grapist thing, I think you're totally committing a equivalence fallacy, because the whole chance that a person is a grapist compared to the chance of the universe coming into existence, you're talking about two very different scales here. Because while you have a very small set for this person to be a grapist in any kind of sense, but then you have a totally gigantic set for the universe to come into existence and also for this planet to come into existence, or well, to form rather, and then for life to form on this earth and diversify as it did. True, there's a low probability of that happening, but it still can happen. Just like even if there's a low probability of this grapist over here doing his grapey things, I think that there's still a chance that he could be a grapist. But that also means that there's still a chance that this universe came into existence. In fact, we know with 100% accuracy that it did come into existence, so there's no need to even bring up these giant numbers. This is just an argument from giant numbers. That's all this is right here.
Now, I presented this evidence to a very famous podcaster, ex-Mormon turned atheist, at a conference up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I asked him the question, how do you account for this fine-tuning? And his response was, I don't know. Of course, I responded on the offensive saying, well, that is the atheism of the gaps. Whereupon he responded, No. Atheism is the null hypothesis. And I said, my friend, you don't understand that what you are articulating, incidentally, that you are the juror that says that I'm giving this probability of one chance in 10 to the 120th power, yet I have no clue who perpetrated that and murder of that victim. And at the same time, you're saying that I have no clue how to account for this cosmological constant.
So just to put this out there, it is totally fine, totally okay for you not to know something. It's even totally fine and okay for cosmologists and quantum physicists to not know something. And we will eventually find out, or we may never find out. It doesn't really matter, because I don't know is a perfectly fine answer. Now, just because you don't know doesn't mean that there's not an answer. He is trying to make this whole atheism of the gaps argument for the I don't know answers. And the problem is that it just exposes how he is afraid of the I don't know answer. He's afraid of not knowing the answer to things. What does he do to overcome this cognitive dissonance? Well, God did it. Is God did it really a better answer than I don't know? I don't think so, but I'll tell you, I don't know is a bit more truthful than just making up that God did it. I don't know tells you directly that you don't know, while God did it says that you're willing to bullshit the person and claim that you have the answer. So it's not like an atheism of the gaps. It's just the fact that human knowledge is limited. We may or may not ever know all of the answers to everything in the universe. But even then, even if we did know that, how would we ever know that we actually achieved that goal? I don't think that we can know if we've ever achieved that goal. Now, as far as the cosmological constant thing and how this universe seems to be fine-tuned, I've responded to this particular argument on a number of occasions, but really it just boils down to the fact that we don't know what other values we could collectively insert into those equations and it come out with a different universe that would also have life in it. We don't know how static those constants are. We just know that for our universe, the way that our universe developed and our universe operates, those are the constants. But if you were to change one of those constants, then another constant would change, and it would be kind of like a domino effect in our reality. And so while the constants for this universe seem to be constant to get our universe, that doesn't mean that that's the only set of values that will work to produce a universe. And he can't tell you that other values won't produce a universe. He just simply can't. He has no evidence to suggest that other universes can't exist with different values. He just has speculation and ad hoc arguments in order to support his. But of course, he's got a book. He's got a book, honey. And that book says God did it. No, what? Nobody cares. And that book says God did it. So obviously, God did it. I feel like this entire video is just an example of how God did it is a horrible answer for anything. Every time somebody in the past has said God did it, we've always been able to come back through with science and show how God definitely didn't do that shit. Like lightning, rain, the formation of planets, the formation of entire galaxies. All of that shit is scientifically explained now. We wouldn't have been able to explain it before. Hell, during the time when the Quran was being written, they thought that fucking shooting stars were missiles to kill demons in the sky. Of course, we now know what shooting stars are, being that it's debris from the solar system that's skipping off of our atmosphere and burning up. That is what a shooting star is. So the answer of God did it is just a really poor answer for anything.
But one thing I do know for sure, God did not do it. This, my friends, is classic atheism of the gaps.
Except that it isn't, because we can know that the universe came about through natural means and not through some supernatural creator. We can know that and also not know why the constants are the values that they are. And we can say this because from all of our experiences throughout the history of humankind, there's never been an instance where God has done anything in this universe that we can verify. Until you can bring me some kind of verifiable incident where God has actually interacted with this universe in some kind of way, then you can never say that God has interacted with this universe. You first have to have evidence in order to say that that has happened. And finally, we're not using atheism to fill any kind of gap. An atheist is just somebody that doesn't believe in a God. Atheism is just not believing in a God. So I don't see how we're using atheism to fill a gap in our knowledge in this. You, on the other hand, think that God does exist, and you do use God to fill in the gaps of your knowledge. I feel like this is an attempt to put atheism on the same playing field as religion and other God beliefs. But it's really not, because we don't use atheism to fill our gaps in knowledge. We just say that we don't know yet. Well, heathens, is going to be it for his video today. If you will, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Do you think that there really is an atheism of the gaps and it's just something different from this guy? Do you agree with this guy? Or do you think that it's all just horse shit? Let me know down in the comments below. And hey, while you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of video. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.